Good evening, everyone. This video is going to be a trading review and support session for January the 3rd, 2024, our first uh, session in 2024, our second trading day. I'm going to start out by looking at the daily what we were looking at. We were coming in this morning. So this is kind of what we were looking at. This was yesterday, and as you can see, we ended up having another down day today, um, and so it was kind of expected and almost as we've started the 2024 that the market had gotten a little bit over anxious and maybe counting on too much interest rate reductions from the Feds this year. I think the Feds have been pretty clear about the possibilities of some interest rate reductions, but somehow, some way, the market got convinced that they might be doing more, and it doesn't look like that's the case right now. It's just all kind of data dependent. So anyway, the market is doing some profit taking, and how long that will go on, we don't know. We just need to trade the indicators in the direction that it's telling us. So there's a little bit of a negative connotation, as you can see as we're coming into the open. This is yesterday's low, uh, kind of in a sideways action as it normally is going into the open, but underneath the 3 minute. Here's the 3 minute. Here's the 5 minute. Here's the one. Just this cluster of things here. So it typically is a fairly good idea to wait. I chose not to wait this morning. It looked like it didn't quite get me out. So here's the first trade, and it did come back up and test this area again. And on this down bar coming back in here, I added to it. So I was kind of expecting this high area in here to hold, of which it did. And I was out here on my first trade, came back into that area again. I'm still not trusting anything long. Came back down to below everything and took another trade, and that was out. Same thing here. A little speculation here. So a bounce from the all session low and mid S2, but it coming back up to the EMA, the slow flex, the Renko range, and was running away from it. So a little bit of a speculation here. I did take it prior to TurboFlex, turning around, but it was a fast trade. So in and out of there. So that was the third trade. Same way here, right? Coming back up into this range, pretty big down bar. I let it kind of settle out a little bit, right? And didn't chase it there just to make sure it wasn't going to go back up. So went short here again and out at mid S2. That made me a little bit nervous, but it did fill. All right, so those were the first few trades of the morning, and so doing reasonably well. And remember, we did have 7 o'clock news, and I wasn't going to trade before the 7 o'clock news, but then I got seduced into it. So kind of breaking down through this range again, back to the open, the 3 minute. Kind of I waited till here, right? It needed to come back again, and my exit was going to be right on mid S2, getting a little bit close to the news. So I decided I chickened out and I took 3 ticks, but it was a positive trade. Certainly didn't want to add to it either. So let the news happen. Actually, I wasn't looking. I mean, so this area. I don't know about this one. That one would still be maybe a little bit nervous. It would have been fine, kind of coming back into this double bottom. But here it's kind of rolling over pretty nicely. You could have probably have taken a trade in there, but I wasn't looking. And then here comes the 7 o'clock news. 7 o'clock news was pretty dynamic, right? So I let the 1 minute go. Came up to VWAP and kind of was pulsing through here, and I let it come back down. And let's see, where did I entered in about here, right after this big down bar with volume, and was out down here. And then I think I had already reduced size. I'm pretty sure I had already reduced size on my unit side, so I had already booked some profits. So I reduced the unit size, so it took a few more trades. Even took a long trade here as it was above everything, right? And had broken out, tested VWAP at yesterday's low once, kind of broke through it again and broke through it again on the other side. So I actually did take a long trade there. And let's see, breaking back down again. Still a little bit nervous for this mid S2 range, but took another trade here and was out. I think I took one more trade. Try not to trade too much. Where is it at? This is a little bit low, kind of trading into, I didn't call this, don't think I called the other ones either. I kind of mentioned I might trade a little bit more, but I may not call it. Traded another one here, and I did get out before, before this low was made, but it did ultimately end up, coming back down a little bit more. So that was it for today. So from the original unit size, I ended up about +7, which is perfectly fine. So, so that was it for today. Working on wrapping up some software, and I think the only changes that are going to be, a lot of the indicators change, but about the only new thing I'm going to release at this point is the Renko ranges that are coming from the Renko 2x2. So hopefully I get that wrapped up and in good shape for release this weekend. So until then, we will see you in the trading room tomorrow morning.